an occasion assures Zambian citizens that it is addressing their challenges. For example, in our case, the challenge of energy, the challenges of food security, the challenges of economic issues. For that using to address these the people of Zambia.
After members of parliament are accorded an opportunity to debate the presidential address, and Dr. Lee Habasonda has an advice on how these members of parliament should debate.
I think they should debate with the decorum that is required to debate in an objective and representative manner. That is very important. Members of parliament must always remember they are not speaking for themselves. They are speaking for the people. And they should always relate the presidential speech to whether it has touched the people that they represent. If a speech does not align itself to the people you represent, what are you doing there? What should the MP be doing there? So I think that they should debate, but they should always try and bring in their context into the national address, so that these speeches are not just merely academic like here. They must be speeches that translate into action that will solve the problems of our people.
Wow, the academician now speculates on which areas the address should prioritize. Take a look at this.
I think that there are a few gray areas that Zambians want to hear about. For example, we still need sufficient assurance around the environmental risks that were created by this company in the Copper Belt over the spillage into the Kafue River. How safe are the people that are utilizing that water? How safe are the farmers who have been farming there? Are they still going to plant a crop and get some yields? Secondly, I also think the president must look at the area of agriculture. Yes, we are boasting about the bumper harvest, but we also want assurance that in the face of the bumper harvest, they would like to export some of the maize, but citizens are wary about that, and they want to feel sure that there will be food security. So I expect that to come from the president rather than the people below that have been speaking to that subject about export of maize to the neighboring countries. It's a big matter because maize is not for Zambia food, and so the president, being in charge of politics, must address this situation. It's very important that he re-emphasizes the need.
I caught up director of the Southern African Center for the Constructive Resolution of Dispute, and this is Mr. Arthur Muyunda, who just shared with me some of the expectations that his organization is looking forward from the presidential address.
On the official opening by the president, what we expect as SACOD, we expect the president to give us commitment to democratic governance. We expect him to highlight what the government has put in place to try and improve the discourse that is going on. Number two, we prioritize that the country, that the government is going to be reintroduced in the next sitting of parliament. We need to understand, to get direction.
There are quite a number of speculations regarding CDF. Some stakeholders are saying that the Republican president, through the New Dawn government, may increase the CDF allocation. And it is a known fact that CDF has been increased from 1.6 million kwacha in 2021 to 36.1 million kwacha in 2025. Now, what is SACOD's take on CDF?
It is a good thing that CDF was increased and keeps being increased. However, what we expect is that there should be accountability shown on the previous allocations. The money that was allocated towards CDF for each constituency is huge, and what we get from the ministry responsible for CDF, which is the Ministry of Local Government, is that some of the spending of constituencies or agencies have not been utilizing the CDF. Why should we increase it again, as opposed to ensure that there is accountability in terms of spending that money? We also need to see that the burning rate is increased by constituencies. If certain constituencies feel that they are not able to use CDF the way it is supposed to use, there are other constituencies who have a lot of projects and that money have exhaustively been used. What we expect when it comes to CDF is to introduce regulation around CDF which will be more of equitable access to CDF as opposed to equal access to CDF. Because we have bigger constituencies and smaller constituencies. We have constituencies which have a lot of needs as opposed to other constituencies. So maybe we expect to see some pronouncements that the government is coming up with a formula which will distribute CDF in an equitable manner. So it can be increased, but let it be increased equitably and based on the burning rate of different constituencies. And also, you know that CDF has also has some loan schemes. What is the repayment rate? So also all those factors should come into play. Should not just be about increasing CDF. To be honest, CDF is in this country. CDF. However, amounts that have been going towards CDF. What we have seen is dotted development based on the commitment of specific constituencies in terms of utilizing CDF.
Well, just hope and trust you've really enjoyed my interactions with various stakeholders that have really highlighted how important the official opening of Parliament is. And my last guest on today's program is former Chifunabuli Member of Parliament, Mr. Ponde Mecha, who is the current Secretary General of the former Parliamentarians Association of Zambia. He now teaches members of Parliament on how they should debate.
As the President outlines the legislative agenda, those things must be interrogated by the members of Parliament. They should not bring in things that do not add value to the governance of this nation. What we are interested in is improving the governance system. Yeah. Without that, we will not develop this country. We can be arguing in Parliament without basis. But what does it profit the people of Zambia? What does it account for development? Nothing. So we want our members of Parliament to debate responsibly, and what I mean is that they must align their debates based on the policies that the President outlines. He is there to give the direction to the people of Zambia, and it's that direction that we must interrogate.
You've heard from various stakeholders. The expectations are quite high, but what are your expectations? We know that the Republican President to the 12th of September 2025 as he officially opened the 5th session of the 13th National Assembly. My name is Paul Sentindovi, and thank you so much for your time.
No, but we can't say that. This is teamwork. Well, those were sentiments from different stakeholders on the importance and significance of the ceremonial opening of Parliament. And featuring on this interview with the person was Dr. Lee Habasonda, a researcher and academician from the University of Zambia. We also had a former member of Parliament, Mr. Ponde Mecha, as well as the SACOD Executive Director, Mr. Arthur Moyonda.
Right, so we do have arrivals outside Parliament buildings. Various stakeholders have started arriving. at 10 hours, we do expect the Speaker's procession to make its way into the chamber. So mayors and town councillors have this as the President will be officially opening the 5th session of the 13th National Assembly. We did also have a chat with the Zambia Institute of Policy Analysis Research, ZIPA, that's the interim Executive Director, Mr. Bryson Chikuba. He also had a say regarding today's occasion. Let's take a look.
Thank you so much for joining us on Parliament Television as the nation prepares for the official opening of the 5th session of the 13th National Assembly by the Republican President, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema. Many organizations are highlighting the issues they expect to feature in the President's address. The Zambia Institute for Policy Analysis and Research, ZIPA, plays a key role in providing evidence-based insights to guide policymaking in the country. To share their perspectives, I'm joined by Mr. Zali Bryson Chikuba, the Interim Executive Director at Zambia Institute for Policy Analysis and Research, ZIPA. Mr. Chikuba, welcome to this interview.
Thank you very much, and hello viewers.
To begin with, as ZIPA, what are your expectations in the as you believe should stand out and
expectations, and I think starting with the macroeconomic policy management, we have noticed stability in our macroeconomic policies as a nation. This is evident from the movements that we have seen in inflation. We have seen movements in the exchange rate, and we have seen also on the other side of the framework, we have seen a thorough implementation of the extended credit facility, and now it is being extended further to entrench the macroeconomic stability and also fiscal prudence, which is a very critical development in our economy, especially when we expect that there's but what we are seeing is commitment to fiscal prudence with the extension of the extended credit facility. This is commendable. While this is commendable, there are pronouncements that show that this also is going to be to be complemented by intensified focus on domestic resource mobilization that matches the obligations that are coming from the enhanced debt repayments that we are now going to be making, and also the need to implement further programming that improve the sustainability of the economy and also improve the livelihoods of the people. This is very, very critical, because ultimately what people are looking to see is how, therefore, the stability that we have achieved in the economy is going to impact on their individual lives.
All right, from a research and evidence-based policy perspective, what are the main issues that ZIPA will be paying particular attention to in the President's address? ZIPA
will be paying attention to quite a number of areas, especially in the area of agriculture. We want to see how, what sort of policies the President is going to pronounce that improve the structural aspects of the sector, agricultural sector. There are some constraints that the sector still is facing. For instance, we have low productivity. It is very difficult to access the rural areas. How is the infrastructure going to be? The last year of the five-year mandate the President has, is he going to consult? They have already started doing. What are we going to do about informed decisions. These are critical, I think, policies that we're expecting to hear being pronounced because they improve the productivity of the agricultural sector. We also want to hear pronouncements about how we are going to transition from just being dependent on sort of investments the water that we receive from the rains and utilizing that water for agriculture so that we are not dependent on 4 months of rain for our agricultural productivity in this country. There are also expectations what we want to hear, we want to see addressed, like we have special economic zones in the area of crop farming in this country. And now there has been talks about creating compartments for also livestock. What progress has been made for creating the compartments for livestock production with the intention of exporting beef? This is critical if we are to make agriculture more productive. In the area of mining, we expect the President also to make pronouncements about how we are going to operationalize the Minerals Regulation Commission. This is critical to make sure that the sector is reorganized properly, because what we are seeing now is because we haven't had a structure that is responsible for regulating operations holistically in the mining sector. So we want to see how this commission is going to be operationalized, and I hope that the President is going to pronounce this, because I think before the end of their tenure they need to ensure that this is in place. And also, what progress have we made in terms of the aerial geophysical survey that is supposed to make us aware of the amount of the type of minerals that we have in the ground and the quantities that we have, so that we can set ourselves better in terms of investment planning for the mining
Good
sector.
morning. Live pictures on Parliament television. As you can see, that's the arrival of our owner, the Vice President, Mrs. Mutalina Lumango, was met by the first Deputy Speaker, Mrs. Malungo Chisangano, and the Vice President is accompanied by her husband. And so any time from now we do expect the Speaker's procession to make its way into the chamber, and that's the time that business will start for the day, Pauline.
Yes, and of course arrivals will continue. Earlier on we saw the town clerks and mayors, and we've also seen the Registrar of the High Court, the Chief Justice, the President of the Constitutional Court, and other judges actually, and presidents of the various institutions in the judiciary arrive at Parliament buildings. So arrivals of the guests continue, and we shall continue updating you as the arrivals happen.
All right. So we digress a little bit. We'll take you back to the time that the House did adjourn. The last time it sat, that was on the 1st of August 2025. We just have a recap of the business that was considered on that particular day. Madam Speaker did make some announcements, did recognize a big gallery of pupils and teachers from Chilenje Adventist School in Lusaka District, and so on behalf of the National Assembly of Zambia, she warmly welcomed the visitors to the National Assembly.
And then the House did consider questions for oral answer number 397 and 398, understanding order 82, and the House also considered grouped questions for oral answer number 399 and 403, understanding order 83.
So notice was taken at 11 hours that a quorum was not formed, and so Mr. Second Deputy Speaker ordered the bells to be rung, and the House counted, and a quorum having been formed, business resumed. Two reports were, presented on the floor of the House. The first one did come from Ms. Sefulo of Mandi. She did urge the House to adopt the report of the Committee of National Economy, Trade and Labour Matters on the ratification of the International Customs Convention on temporary admission for the fourth session of the 13th National Assembly, laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 31st July 2025.
And the other report was moved by Mr. Nyambose, Member of Parliament for Chasefu, in which he urged the House to adopt the report of the Committee on Local Government Accounts on the report of the Auditor General on the Constituency Development Fund for the financial year ended 31st December 2023 for the fourth session of the 13th National Assembly, laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 31st July 2025, and the report was adopted.
And so the House adjourned accordingly Sunday at 12:38 hours. So that's the business that was considered on the floor of the House on Friday, 1st August 2025.
And today, Friday, 12th September 2025, we expect the President to open the fifth session of the 13th National Assembly anytime after 10 hours. And on the order paper for today, we have the national anthem, and that will be followed by a prayer. And of course, there is the swearing in of a new member of parliament. You may be aware that there was a by-election in Mfue, a constituency, and a new member of parliament was elected. And this is Mr. Mufulo Malama, is expected to be sworn in as a member of parliament for that seat.
All right, and after that swearing ceremony, we do expect President of the Republic of Mr. Hakainde Hichilema to address the nation, and this is happening during the fifth session of the 13th National Assembly. After the address, we do expect some reactions from invited guests and members of parliament to them and hear what they'll have to say about the presidential address. So this time around, to make its way into the chamber, and we just need did play an and is suspended to await for the arrival of the Republican president into the chamber. All right, and so live pictures on your screen. That's what's happening in the chamber. The chamber, I must say, is quite full. We have a number of invited guests that have come through to witness this historic event. And we also, that's the public gallery, the speaker's gallery is almost filled to capacity. And I'm sure by the time the president starts addressing the House, the chamber will be, actually very full. So members of parliament interacting. Others haven't seen each other since August when the House adjourned Cindy, Pauline.
Exactly, you can see the way they are mingling. You can see they have met each other. And as you mentioned earlier on, they are all getting pictures with each other. And of course, not to forget to say that this is the final year of the 13th National Assembly. So it will be actually a very significant year for some of them who may not be able to come back to Parliament after the election. So these indeed, you said, memorable pictures, and they will speak a lot in the future.
Absolutely. So a number of guests have already arrived. Earlier we did see Her Honor President, Mrs. Mutalena Lumango, making her way into the chamber and of course the parliament buildings, and she was met by the first deputy speaker, Mrs. Malongo Chisangano. So there you have it. That's the vice president having a chat with some members of parliament. We do expect the president to be here at 10 hours. He's going to be accompanied by the first lady, that's Mrs. Mutinta Hichilema, and Mrs. Mutinta Hichilema will be received by service chiefs right here at the parliament grounds. All this will be happening, and we'll be able to show you events as they unfold right here at parliament buildings.
Yes, so as the president arrives, he'll be met by the Right Honorable Madam Speaker, and also the President at Arms will be there to lead the President and the Speaker's procession on the footsteps of Parliament as they make their way to the chamber.
All right, so all this is coming live Parliament Television. Just to mention that we are also live on Parliament Radio. You can also catch us on DSTV, that's channel Go TV. We also live on our Facebook and YouTube, pages. Remember, after the address, we'll be getting reactions from various, stakeholders that have been invited here, not forgetting our very own members of Parliament. And of course, Pauline, at some point, we'll have a recap or a relook at The president's address that he had last year during the fourth session of the 13th National Assembly, the president did talk about a number of issues, and last year's speech was actually premised under the theme enhancing national resilience, sustaining socio-economic gains in the face of adverse effects of climate change, and that's where his speech was premised on. So we'll go through that speech at some point as we await for the president actually to make his way into the chamber to address the nation at large.
Yes, Claudette, so that is a picture of what is happening that is a picture of what is happening in the chamber right now. Members of Parliament, of course, mingling, and the invited guests have already taken their seat. And the inside the program is expected to start at 10 hours. As the mayors and town clerks have already taken their seat in the public galleries, and the judiciary has also taken their seat in the galleries. So the speaker's procession would enter the chamber at 10 hours, and then there will be the national anthem, and then that will be followed by a prayer, and business will be suspended until the arrival of the president in the House. Then the Right Honourable Madam Speaker will leave the chamber to go and with the Sergeant at Arms to go and meet the president, whilst members of Parliament and the guests will be expected to remain in their seats. So that will be the program expected this morning at 10 hours.
Absolutely. So when the president gets to Parliament grounds, he's going to proceed to the saluting dais, where he's going to be accorded the presidential salute, and the president will be accorded the presidential salute. Then the presidential standard will be broken, and the 21-gun salute will be fired by the salute troop of the Zambia Army Artillery at the same time, and there's going to be a fly past by the Zambia Air Force. We hope we can show all that. And the president is accompanied by his aide-de-camp, and thereafter is going to inspect the guard of honor mounted by the 2nd Infantry Battalion of the Zambia Army. And so there you have it, the Sergeant at Arms of the National Assembly of Zambia leading the Speaker of the National Assembly, the Right Honourable Nelly Muti State Council, into the chamber. And this actually does signify the start of business today, Friday.
Honourable members of Parliament, Madam Speaker.
Order.
Tendency of Zambia, proud and free, land of wealth and joy in unity, victors in the struggle for our right. We want freedom's fight, oh, one, strong and free. Africa is our own motherland, fashioned with and blessed by God's to blend. Let us all our people join us, brothers, under the sun, oh, one, strong and free. One land and one nation is our cry. Dignity and peace in Zambia's sky, like a noble eagle in its flight. Zambia, praise to thee, oh, one, strong and free. Praise be to God, praise be
Almighty God, who in your infinite wisdom and providential goodness has appointed the offices of leaders and parliaments for the welfare of society and the just government of the people, we beseech you to consider with your abundant favor us, your servants, whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of such important responsibilities in this land. Let your blessing descend upon us here in Parliament assembled, and grant that we may, as in your presence, treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation, in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country, and of those whose interests you have committed to our charge. Amen. All honorable members, honorable to take Ms. Nelo.
I, Mufurero Marama, do swear that I will be faithful and bear true and protect and by law established. So help me God.
Order, honorable members. Order. Let's get back to business. Order, honorable members. The Vice President, when the President, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, will arrive to address the House.
Madam Speaker, I wish to inform this august House that the President, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, will arrive at 10:30 hours to address the House. Thank you, Madam.
Honorable members are requested to remain in their seats.
And so we await for that moment to happen, Pauline. Of course, we did witness the taking of oath of a new member of parliament, Pauline.
Yes, we had the new member, we just saw the new member of parliament take oath, and he was recently elected following a by-election in Mfue constituency, and this is Mr. Mufunelo Malama, who has just been sworn in as the newly elected member of parliament for Mfue. And in the meantime, the Honorable Madam Speaker has just walked out of the chamber to go and meet the President as he arrives to open the 5th session of the 13th National Assembly. And in the meantime, honorable members of parliament and all the invited guests have been advised to remain in their seats.
All right, and so those are the outside pictures, and we'll beam everything live as they unfold here at Parliament buildings. The President is expected to be met by the footsteps of Parliament buildings by Speaker of the National Assembly, the Right Honourable and do expect to go to the Speaker's chambers as per tradition. When he comes to Parliament, he goes to the Speaker's chamber, signs in the visitor's book, and then he's going to walk down together with the Speaker to the chamber. And then the address that everybody has been eagerly waiting for is going to happen.
Claudette, it seems the President is about to arrive. We can see the motorcade using the presidential gate. Those are the pictures of the presidential motorcade, signifying that he is arriving inside the Parliament buildings any time from now.
So all that you're seeing on your screen was actually rehearsed. The rehearsals actually did start on a Monday. They went all the way up to Wednesday. So whatever you're seeing has been properly, rehearsed, done. And today it's actually, taking shape.
Exactly. Very well coordinated.
Absolutely.
It looks simple when they are rehearsing, but it is so much work actually. You can see the way everything is coordinated, everything is in place.
Actually, when they are rehearsing, you'd think it's the actual, event, taking place. But it's just a rehearsal. So it was intensive rehearsal of 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and finally today, here we are.
There are the horses, of course. They add color to the motorcade.
And of course, talking about color, you see our beautiful flag. Flags. There are quite a number of them. Green, the beautiful colors that we have on our, our national flag. We're also adding color. Not forgetting, they've actually dressed the horses with the Zambian flag.
Exactly.
That is beautiful. And so talking about color, the traditional dancers are also dressed colorful attires. I'm sure you'll be able to see them in a short while ago.
There you can see the President with the presidential flag on his car, arriving right here at Parliament buildings, accompanied by those colorful horses.
We must mention that the President is accompanied by the First Lady, that's Mrs. Mutinta Hichilema. And any time from now, we'll see the President actually disembark from the vehicle.
So also to mention that in the President's procession, there's the First Lady, of course, as you mentioned earlier. I should be accompanied by her Social Secretary, Miss B. Monga, and we also have the President coming to address the House, accompanied by his aide-de-camp, Mr. Shapa. We also have the service chiefs. We have the Commander of the Zambia Air Force, Lieutenant General OMA Nyoni. We also have Lieutenant General GC Ziere, Commander of the Zambia Army, and Mr. Jim Samba, Inspector General of Zambia Police. We also have Lieutenant General M. Solochi, Commander of the Zambia National Service, and also Mr. FSS Chirukudu, Commissioner General of the Zambia Correctional Service. There we are. As you can see, the motorcade has just stopped, waiting for the President to come out of the vehicle anytime from now, accompanied by the First Lady, Mutinta Hichilema.
And so there they are. That's the Republican President greeting the service chiefs, and is accompanied by Mrs. Mutinta, Hichilema. They have now touched Parliament buildings in readiness for the presidential address that's going to be happening at 10:30, as indicated by Her Honor the Vice President.
Any time from now, the President is going to inspect the Guard of Honor. And Claudette, the moment you dread is about to come, the 21 gun salutes.
All right, so this President is going to take the, proceed to the saluting dais, where it's going to be accorded the presidential salute. The presidential standard is going to be broken, and the 21 gun salute will be fired by the salute troop of the Zambia Army itinerarily. At the same time, there's going to be a fly past by the Zambia Air Force. And that's always a marvel to watch, Pauline.
Exactly, it is. It's the same every year, but you never get tired of watching.
Absolutely, because it's colorful, and the way it's done, it's just, always beautiful to look at.
And this year, the horses, I've never seen them being dressed like that.
I was thinking the same. I was like, maybe am I just thinking like I don't pay attention, but I think today it's the first time that the horses have been dressed with the national flag.
President of the Republic of Zambia and Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Force, Guard of Honor, mounted by 2nd Infantry Battalion, 1st Infantry Brigade of the Zambia Army, all present and ready for your inspection, Mr. President. Sir.
Assembly, and the president is being accompanied by the aide-de-camp as he inspects the guard of honor mounted by the 2nd Infantry Battalion of the Zambia Army.
Mr. President, my inspection is over. Permission to carry on, Mr. President. Sir! Sir!
President Mr. Hakainde Hichilema just after inspecting the guard of honor. Second presidential salute.
Mr. President, the President of the Republic of Zambia and Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Force, permission for the Guard of Honor to march past in column of route and fly past Mr. President. Sir. Sir. Guard of honor who march past.
This marks the ceremonial opening of the 5th session of the 13th National Assembly, and we can confirm three.
First Lady Mrs. Mutinda, and the Speaker's procession is led by the Sergeant at Arms, headed towards the chamber, the Speaker's chambers actually, where the President is expected to sign the parliamentary visitors book before he goes into the House to address the nation through Parliament.
And so the Right Honourable Madam Speaker and the President there are being accompanied by, traditional royal drums, and thereafter they will proceed to the Speaker's chambers, where the President is expected to sign the Speaker's parliamentary visitors book. So there they are, being led by the Sergeant at Arms, and if you were to look closely, there's actually a gentleman who's saying something, Pauline?
Exactly, he is saying something from the traditional performances that are here, and they are acknowledging the presence of His Excellency the President coming to the National Assembly, and
welcoming him actually.
Yes,
welcoming him like
yes.
Something like
yes,
that.
We are welcoming you. Actually, it is interesting to note that actually they are using all the major languages. Like what you had mentioned earlier, that all provinces are actually represented. So those pronouncements are in all the major languages, welcoming the President to the National Assembly in all the major languages of Zambia.
Interesting. And so there you have it, the President, the Speaker of the National Assembly, being led by the Sergeant at Arms, and they will soon be making their way to this Speaker's chambers. Thereafter, we do expect the President to address the nation. Much anticipated address that almost everybody is looking forward to. So this is all happening here at Parliament buildings. Beautiful ecstatic scenario there, Pauline.
Exactly. All the performances have been done to acknowledge the President, and the President has also acknowledged the traditional performances that have taken place here. And just there at the entrance, there's also one royal salute that is done by the Zambia dance troupe to acknowledge his arrival at Parliament buildings. So the President is accompanied by the service chiefs. We have the Zambia Army, the Zambia Air Force, we also have the Zambia Correctional Service, we have the Zambia National Service, and the Zambia Army. So they have accompanied the President as he arrives here at Parliament buildings into the House.
I actually saw our choir doing some performance when I was coming through, and I'm sure the President is going to meet them or just hear what they have to sing about. And usually the songs have to do with unity, unifying the nation, one Zambia, one nation. I don't know if he has met them yet, but I'm sure he's yet to meet our newly formed National Assembly of Zambia choir.
He normally takes time to acknowledge also. And one interesting thing, he does acknowledge each and every group. He may not stop there for a long time, but at least he acknowledges their presence. I'm sure he did that before going upstairs.
Okay, so they are actually making their way to the Speaker's chambers, and there he is greeting everybody by way of waving his hand. That's his tradition, actually.
Yes,
he loves to wave
his
he loves to wave his hand, and so any time from now he's going to be in the chamber, and we'll be ready to hear what he has to say as he officially opens the 5th session of the 13th National Assembly. And those are the live pictures from the chamber. Members of Parliament were actually urged to stay in their seats, and the invited guests, as they wait for the President to walk through to the chamber. And that's exactly what they are doing. They are seated, of course, chatting, and catching up on one or two issues as they wait for the address.
Exactly, that is what is going on right here at Parliament buildings as the President comes to open the 5th session of the 13th National Assembly. And also to note that this is the final year of the 13th National Assembly. Next year, Zambia goes to the polls, and the Parliament then will be the 14th National Assembly. So this is the last year of the 13th National Assembly.
Interesting. So earlier on we did say that last year the President during the 4th session of the 13th National Assembly did address the nation under the theme enhancing national resilience, sustaining socio-economic gains in the face of adverse effects of climate change. This time around we are looking forward to see what the theme for this year is going to be. So last year the President's address was delivered at a time when the country was going through a very challenging period, and that was in view of the severe drought that we experienced, and this was actually caused by El Nino weather conditions. But thank God, Pauline, we did have good rains after that dry spell, and a bumper harvest.
Exactly. The President did talk about a number of measures that government was going to put in place to mitigate the drought that the country had gone through, and also he did talk about the agriculture sector. He talked about the mining sector and other sectors that would bring some improvement to Zambia's economy.
And talking about the mining sector, Pauline, the President in last year's address did say that activities of illegal mining are a big challenge that the government is fully committed to addressing. I'm sure you've seen what has been happening regarding these illegal miners, the deaths that have been recorded, and so the President actually did touch on that last year. And he did say that the scourge had resulted in the needless loss of life and posed a significant threat to national security. And we yet to see if he's going to touch on that issue again, just like we await for him to touch on the issue of energy. As you might be aware, the country has been going through an energy crisis. It's been load shedding for long hours, and the people that we spoke to much earlier did actually say they wanted to see the President actually tackle this problem, see how this energy crisis can be resolved. So we need to see what the President is going to say regarding the energy sector.
Exactly. And on agriculture, following out, the President also did bring out the fact that the maize in view of the maize deficit, the country was going to import from neighboring countries, and this was also to reassure the people that no one was going to go hungry in the nation during the challenging period. And to further mitigate the effects of drought, people were being encouraged to cultivate winter maize and early maize by all the farmers, and also government was going to contract farmers to supply early maize to be delivered earlier this year. And of course we saw this come to fruition in the year, and there's quite a lot of grain out there which farmers have produced in the last farming season following very good rainfall.
The President also touched on the expansion of the local manufacturing base. He did say that government is promoting the production and consumption of local products, and he did say that to achieve this, the government is actually developing a legislation to support local manufacturers by encouraging public institutions to procure locally produced goods and services as we continue to promote the Proudly Zambian campaign. The President actually, every time he comes to Parliament, actually talks about, us as Zambians, supports our locally, produced goods, the Proudly Zambian, campaign.
Exactly.
And so there you have it, the Sergeant at Arms leading The President of the Republic of Zambia, he's been accompanied by the Speaker of the National Assembly, and I'm thinking they are heading to the office. Yeah, they're heading to the Speaker's chamber, and that's per tradition when the President, that's the First Lady, beautifully dressed in the white and black dress, and that's the Speaker's chamber. And so as per tradition, each time the President comes to Parliament, he signs in the visitor's book. I wonder what he's writing, that I've been here like, or maybe this is the fifth session. I'm officially opening the fifth session of the 13th National Assembly. I'm just thinking aloud. I don't know what he's writing.
Indeed, it would be good to see what he has written for Parliament this year.
All right, and so once that process is done, we'll see the President come through to the chamber, and that to signify, you know, the start of his much anticipated address. And so he's done, and with the First Lady looking on, and the Speaker also looking on, and I'm sure they're going to take a photograph as per tradition. After the signing, there's going to be a photo session, and after that he's going to come through to the chamber. And so members of Parliament are getting ready to hear what the President has to say this time around as he officially opens the fifth session of the 13th National Assembly. And so we were just going through, in case you've just joined us, we were just going through the President's speech that he delivered last year when he officially opened the fourth session of the 13th National Assembly, and the speech was premised under the theme enhancing national resilience, sustaining socio-economic gains in the face of adverse effects of climate, change.
Yes, Claudette, and on human and social development, the President did indicate that his government had introduced a free education, which has led to a huge increase in the enrollment levels across the country, and that the young people now have a fair chance to brighten their future by going to school, and that the young people are now being empowered to overcome poverty, and also they have an opportunity to become key players in the socio-economic development of the country. And he did say that free education is a policy which is helping to curb early marriages and teen pregnancies in the country, especially in rural areas. And he also did indicate that a new national education curriculum framework had been developed to promote lifelong learning, entrepreneurship, and also practical skills required by the industry. And this implies that the education curricula is more appropriate to the needs of the industry and the economy.
So the First Lady, Mrs. Mutinta Ishilema, has just taken. She does that. We know that any second or minute from now, the President of the Republic of Zambia will be in the chamber. And so in last year's address, the President also touched on the aviation infrastructure. He did say that the development of aviation infrastructure is another strategy that the government is implementing in a quest to become a transport and logistics hub of the region. He did say that the government has embarked on the construction of a second runway at the Kenneth Kaunda International Airport, and this will not only make the airport more efficient and safer, but will also attract more international airlines. And he also touched on the provincial airports. He did report that the upgrading of Kasama Airport has been completed following the installation of airfield ground lighting, and also the government is also in the process of upgrading Mansa, Nakonde and Chinsali airports.
Yes, Claudette, the President should be coming in the house any time from now. We expect the Ngoma ya Bukali, which is a traditional drum actually to herald the approach of the President and the Right Honorable Madam Speaker's procession through the lobby. So any time from now, the President should be coming.
So what's the significance of the Ngoma ya Bukali? Because we talked about the significance of the other, as the President is met at the footsteps. We talked about that, And so now there's going to be some more drums in the house, in the chamber.
Yes, Ngoma ya Bukadi, as in signifying, or is to warn the people that he is coming. It's a sign that the president is about to come.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So that should be any time from now, the president walks in. Oh, actually, they are already.
They're getting ready to sound those drums. Okay.
And you know, there's Ngoma ya Bukali, and then there's also the Maoma. When he walks in, as he's walking in, there's that drum also. The sound will be different.
Okay, so it happens at the same time?
No, the heralding will happen as he is approaching. So when he is coming, he's walking in now, there will be the Maoma. It's like the royal.
That's from Western Province.
The Maoma.
Maoma, it's not Western Province. It's Western Province. Oh, Pauline.
It's
Western Province.
Maoma, right? Yes, I think it should be. Drums.
So there you have it. That's the president making his way into the chamber, accompanied by the Speaker of the National Assembly.
Mr. President and Madam Speaker.
We may take our seats.
Gazette Notice number 939 of 2025, the National Assembly of Zambia Standing Orders 2024. Standing Order 16.3. Notice of the 5th session of the 13th National Assembly. Notice is hereby given to all members of Parliament and the general public that in exercise of the power conferred upon the Speaker of the National Assembly by Standing Order 16.3 of the National Assembly Standing Orders 2024, the Speaker appoints Friday, 12 September 2025 as the date for the first sitting of the 5th session of the 13th National Assembly, dated 11th day of August 2025. Right Honorable Ms. N.B.K. Muti, State Council, Member of Parliament, Fellow of the African Public Relations Association, and Speaker of the National Assembly.
Honorable members, the House would like to welcome to the Assembly the President of the Republic of Zambia, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema. We are honored, Mr. President, to have you in our midst. May I now invite you, Mr. President, to deliver your address.
Madam Speaker, we are honored, truly honored, to join you today to address the House on this auspicious occasion marking the commencement of the 5th session of the 13th National Assembly. Before we commence, we would like to honor our late 6th President, His Excellency Dr. Edgar Gachagua Lungu, who died in Pretoria, South Africa on the 5th of June 2025. In the moment of mourning, we stand in solidarity with his family and the country, offering them our deepest prayers and heartfelt condolences. His service to our country will forever remain as part of Zambia's history. May his memory inspire us to uphold the unity and dignity of our great nation, Zambia. May we be upstanding for a moment of silence, Madam Speaker. Thank you very much. May his soul rest in eternal peace, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, today we reflect on the progress we have made, the challenges that remain, and our shared national future. We thank the people of Zambia for supporting the UPND New Dawn government during this journey of economic and social transformation of our country. We are moving forward, Madam Speaker, together. Madam Speaker, since our last address to this August House in March this year, 2 new honorable members of Parliament have joined the House. We extend our congratulations to Honorable Lufeo Ngoma for Lumezi constituency, and Honorable Malama Mufunelo for Mfuwe constituency. We urge the 2 honorable members to represent their respective constituencies with commitment and diligence. As we welcome these members, we also mourn the loss of the Clerk of the National Assembly, Mr. Roy Ngulube, who died on the 7th of April 2025. We honor his service to the Assembly and to the country at large. Madam Speaker, during the last session, the House considered 398 questions, adopted 38 reports, passed 26 bills, considered 14 ministerial statements, and debated 14 private members' motions. We commend you and the 2 deputy speakers for effectively presiding over the business of this August House. We equally extend our appreciation to the honorable members of Parliament for their active participation in the business of the House. Further, we convey our gratitude to the leader of government business, Her Honor the Vice President, Republican Vice President, for ably representing the executive in this House. We also recognize the Office of the Clerk of the National Assembly for the services rendered to the honorable members and ensuring that the business of the House was conducted efficiently throughout. Madam Speaker, theme of address. Over the last 4 years, we have made positive strides in our economic and social transformation agenda. We have restored economic growth, Madam Speaker. We have regained market confidence, Madam Speaker. We have restored the rule of law, Madam Speaker. Our efforts are certainly yielding the desired results. No question about it. Certainly, more remains to be done, and we are very much aware of that. The theme for the year's address is, therefore, consolidating economic and social gains towards a prosperous, resilient, and equitable Zambia. Madam Speaker, we remain firmly committed to our national mission of building a prosperous Zambia, a Zambia where business and job opportunities are available not for a few, but for all. A Zambia where quality education, Madam Speaker, a Zambia where quality education and accessible health care are assured for all. Indeed, a Zambia where every citizen lives a dignified life and can achieve their full potential. Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, macroeconomic developments, to go into specifics. In August 2021, we made a pledge to the Zambian people to revive and stabilize our economy as the headline message of our government. True to our commitment, economic growth has averaged 5.2% between 2021 and 2024. Numbers do not lie. This is more than 3 times higher than the average growth rate of 1.5% recorded during the period 2017 to 2020. We have been able to grow the economy despite the uncertain global environment, Madam Speaker, the huge national debt, Madam Speaker, the effects of the worst drought in living memory, which we experienced in the 2023-2024 rain season. Madam Speaker, the UPND New Dawn administration has made positive strides in enhancing fiscal prudence and addressing the debt crisis. Elephant in the room at a time. Today, we are happy to report that over 92% of our external debt has been successfully restructured, Madam Speaker. Further, the inflation has been on a downward trajectory from an average of 23.1% between January to July 2021 to an average of 15.5% over the same period in 2025. In the recent past, we have all witnessed the Kwacha rebound against major convertible currencies. This has consequently resulted in a stabilization in the cost of goods and services, Madam Speaker. That's how it works. Madam Speaker, the Honorable Minister of Finance and National Planning will soon present the 2026 national budget to this August House. The budget will outline specific measures to consolidate the economic social development gains that were made towards a prosperous, resilient, and equitable Zambia. The specifics, Madam Speaker, will sit in there. We therefore urge this August House, not part of it, but the whole House, to support the budget once it's presented. Madam Speaker, economic transformation and job creation, a little bit more highlights. Economic transformation and job creation is critical in fostering sustainable economic and social development. Since 2021, our government has focused on economic reforms, diversification, and value chain development in key sectors of our economy, such as what? Agriculture, mining, tourism, and indeed manufacturing. And you will see the effect of this focus in the GDP for the last couple of years. Agriculture, Madam Speaker. In agriculture, we've seen a rebound in the production levels across major crops. For instance, Madam Speaker, in the 2024-2025 farming season, maize production increased to a historical 3.7 million metric tons, compared to 1.5 million metric tons in the 2023-2024 season. Based on new information post the crop survey, Madam Speaker, based on new information, strong indications are that our maize harvest could actually extend beyond 4 million metric tons. Additionally, soybeans, Madam Speaker, the soybeans production increased to 760,000 metric tons from 400,000 metric tons. We are on our way to our target of 1 million tons of soybeans per year. Madam Speaker, maize seed production, very important, increased to 94,300 metric tons in 2024 from 52,000 in 2023. We are also pleased to report, Madam Speaker, that our country is now self-sufficient in maize seed production. We are exporting our locally produced maize seed to a number of countries, Madam Speaker, in Africa, and surprise, surprise, into Europe as well. Madam Speaker, additional investment in maize seed production has continued. Further, with the completion of the Bayer Itava seed production, Zambia is now the largest maize seed producer in sub-Saharan Africa. Key drivers of growth in agricultural production include, Madam Speaker, increased private sector participation and government reforms such as what? FISIP e-voucher. FISIP e-voucher. We successfully delivered a major reform under FISIP, Madam Speaker, migrating 730,000 farmers onto the e-voucher, to be precise, a digital platform. By migrating these farmers, Madam Speaker, we were able to remove, very important, 210,000 fraudulent beneficiaries that in the previous years were receiving seed and fertilizer but were never farmers, and hence the low levels of production, partially, Madam Speaker. This subsequently created space for genuine farmers to benefit from the critical support. This board reform, Madam Speaker, has restored the integrity of the FISIP program with regards to input supply and guaranteed that assistance reaches the rightful beneficiaries, not those who are collecting inputs and selling the following day. No. Of the farmers that migrated to the e-voucher, Madam Speaker, 99% received their inputs ahead of the rains. Another important development there, arising from reforms, different from past periods of late deliveries of inputs. In addition, a broader choice of inputs is being made available to farmers. They draw inputs to grow what they want to grow. Very important. Very important, Madam Speaker. The success of the e-voucher last season is the reason we are committed to a 100% rollout to all our 116 districts, 156 constituencies this year. We are clear that this change will deliver more benefits in the agriculture sector. We also believe that the savings from there can be applied to other needy areas. Very important. We also wish to recognize the major role played by the private sector in delivering tangible benefits in the agriculture sector, Madam Speaker. This includes the creation of more than 5,000 jobs across the agro-sector supply chain, resulting in the transformation of lives and stimulation of rural economies across the country. Madam Speaker, this government wants to ensure that all the provinces deliver economic contribution to the GDP. Not some, but all of them. 10 of them. These are the steps leading us to there. Madam Speaker, many of our people live along and around water courses, such as rivers, streams, and wetlands, and yet they are often severely affected by the effects of drought. This must not be allowed to continue going forward. Therefore, to ameliorate the effects of climate change and improve resilience, our government is supporting the development of irrigation agriculture. Currently, 200,000 hectares of irrigated land is being utilized to grow maize and other crops. We are aggressively working on increasing the land under irrigation, Madam Speaker, to somewhere in the region of 500,000 hectares by 2027. To support our irrigation agenda, we are carrying out a number of interventions. These include water harvesting, the rehabilitation and construction of dams, as well as canals across the country. Madam Speaker, our farmers remain very determined and have achieved higher production despite using modest and simple tools, many times handheld tools. We believe with increased support on mechanization, technology, and management, we can significantly increase their production and yields per hectare. That's a game changer. Thus, in 2023, we launched the Sustainable Agricultural Financing Facility, SAFF, to provide affordable financing for mechanization, technology, and irrigation to our small and emerging farmers. A total, Madam Speaker, of 9,000 farmers received loans from the SAFF facility in the 2024-2025 farming season, compared to 4,300 in the previous season. Financial disbursements more than doubled, increasing from 272.3 million kwacha in the previous season to 667.3 million kwacha in the 2024-2025 farming season. Through the SAFF, our farmers have been able to acquire agricultural equipment and other inputs to improve their production and indeed productivity. Madam Speaker, to modernize agriculture, our government has for the first time, established 40 mechanization service centers in 2024. These centers are providing agricultural machinery and equipment for hire by small-scale farmers. So far, more than 2,500 farmers have accessed mechanization services ranging from plowing, planting, spraying, and harvesting. To complement this effort, Madam Speaker, 10 mechanization centers of excellence have been established to provide capacity building to agricultural staff, mechanization service providers, and to farmers. Last year, more than 210 farmers received training from the mechanization centers of excellence across the country. The government will continue to establish more mechanization service centers all across the country to take these services closer to our farmers, to our people, irrespective of where they reside. Madam Speaker, the country is close to achieving self-sufficiency in fertilizer production. We are already a net exporter of compound D fertilizer, exporting to well over 8 countries in the region so far, from a net importer to an exporter. Very deliberate. The ammonia and urea plant at United Fertilizer Capital Zambia Limited is now operational. Zambia is therefore also poised to become a net exporter of ammonia and urea, creating rewarding jobs for our people, especially the youth. The plant will produce 180,000 metric tons of ammonia, 300,000 metric tons of urea annually. More important, Madam Speaker, in addition, from a total investment of close to $7 million, Nitrogen Chemicals of Zambia, NCZ, will have the capacity to produce 144,000 metric tons of granulated compound D fertilizer and 288,000 metric tons of blended fertilizers. Madam Speaker, we wish to thank our gallant farmers and ordinary citizens for heeding to our call to produce. I want to specifically thank our farmers in all the 10 provinces, including provinces that were traditionally not farming, but now they've responded and they produced a lot of food. Thank you to all our farmers across the country. I want to say to our farmers across Zambia, you've shown resilience in the face of devastating drought in the last farming season. We have to appreciate you. If you didn't produce to sell, you produced to feed your family. That is too important. We equally thank our traditional leaders for answering the call to actively engage in agriculture. This is true leadership. We also salute our defense and security wings for playing their part in enhancing food security. In enhancing food security and fighting hunger in times of peace. Indeed, food security is national security, and the opposite is true. Food insecurity is national insecurity. We prefer to have national security through food, partially. Working together, we have delivered the greatest harvest in our nation's history. This is a testament to the drive and talent of our people, even though for many years unexploited. Madam Speaker, more than enough maize was produced for local consumption, human and animal, taking into account national food security, as I've mentioned already. This success has brought some challenges in the crop marketing process, admittedly. To address these challenges, the surplus crop has been allocated for export. Surplus crop, taking into account national food reserve, excess crop should be exported. Most of it as milling meal to retain milling crops. Very important. This value-added export will help generate the much-needed resources to continue purchasing maize from our farmers. Madam Speaker, yesterday a bit of showers fell in certain parts of the country. All of us involved in this process must redouble our efforts to buy in all the maize that was produced. The issue of funding is not on the table. The issue on the table is to buy all the maize. That is the issue on the table. That is the issue on the table. We should be ingenious as a people to raise resources to buy that which we encourage to be grown. I believe we are together on this one. So, Madam Speaker, we want to emphasize that buying the crop will motivate farmers to grow more in the next season. Other challenges are being addressed to improve efficiency over time. And Madam Speaker, we in an excellent position from deficit to surplus. It's a good problem we are sitting with. And I think we should rise to the challenge to resolve the problem together, all of us as a country. Madam Speaker, we wish to keep pushing towards our target of 10 million metric tons of maize per year by 2030. It is now in sight, but we have to sharpen our structured marketing arrangements. We want to be the food security for ourselves, but for the region as well, and it's possible. We therefore call upon our farmers, ordinary citizens, and national leaders, including honorable members of this august house, to join in the agricultural revolution. Very important. All good leaders world over, time and again in history, all good leaders should lead by example, including members of this house. Let us be a country of producers, not just traders and consumers. Very important. Madam Speaker, livestock. Our country is uniquely positioned to derive significant economic benefits from our livestock. The sector can be one of our key exports earners. That is why we have set a target of $1 billion of beef exports by 2030. Very important. To support this push, our government, Madam Speaker, has intensified disease surveillance for control, of course, prevention, control, measures across the country, without exception. Many diseases do not understand that this is province A, this is province B, this is country A, this is country B. They move. So we need to be alert across the country and collaborate with our neighbors. Our vaccination coverage against major livestock diseases such as contagious bovine pleural pneumonia, CBPP, and foot and mouth disease is now close to 90%. Madam Speaker, House, the vaccinations are going on across the country. To boost the vaccination drive, Madam Speaker, we have continued with our local production of critical vaccines. Indeed, vaccines and medicines. These include vaccines against anthrax, black quarter, Newcastle. We are pleased to report that we have exceeded our vaccination target for anthrax. We have also commenced the construction of the animal viral vaccine plant in Chilanga district. Our government has intensified efforts to establish disease-free zones and increase exports of beef and other animal products. In the initial phase, we are establishing 4 beef compartments. 4 beef compartments in Eastern Province, Central Province, and Southern Provinces. Over time, this program will be expanded to all the regions of our country. Please, it is just to work in an orderly way. The whole country will be covered soon. Madam Speaker, the fisheries subsector equally continues to register positive growth. Fish production increased from both farmed and natural sources, increasing from 178,000 livestock and fisheries to increase production and exports, as well as enhance job creation and food security. Madam Speaker, mining. Since assuming office in 2021, we have made significant progress in creating a conducive policy and operating environment for the mining sector. This has directly led to significantly more investments going into the mines across the country. We have largely resolved Kola copper mines, KCM, and Mopani, which negatively impacted our copper production. We have unlocked, Madam Speaker, we have unlocked new mining prospects and projects, and also revived mines which were dormant for decades. In line with our production target of 3 million metric tons of copper per annum by 2031, production has been restored to an upward trajectory. Our annual production increased from a low of 733,000 metric tons in 2021 to 821,000 metric tons in 2024. Taste of the pudding is in the eating. We are aggressively moving toward our target of a record-breaking 1 million tons this year. We are knocking on the door of 1 million tons this year of copper production by the end of this year, Madam Speaker, never achieved before. This will happen for the first time in our mining history. Madam Speaker, our first major intervention in the mining sector in 2021 was a resolution of disputes between Government of the Republic of Zambia, ourselves, and First Quantum Minerals. This resolution, which was going on for 10, 11 years in courts, Madam Speaker, not in courts in Lusaka or Ndola, but in London. Very unfortunate. A resolution of disputes between Government of the Republic of Zambia and First Quantum has unlocked a lot of value in the mining sector. This solution led to First Quantum's restoration of confidence in Zambia and their subsequent decision in February 2022 to invest $1.25 billion to expand Kansai Mines Sentinel, which is in short called S3. Without the expansion of Kansanshi, Madam Speaker, this was going to spell disaster. This mine was to close by 2024. The additional investment, Madam Speaker, has not just extended the life of mine by 25 years, but also created more jobs, created business opportunities. And Madam Speaker, we officiated at the new expansion program project completion not long ago, just 2 weeks ago, and it's a marvel to see what has been done there in 3 years. As a consequence of this, Madam Speaker, the total production of First Quantum is now moving towards 450,000 to 500,000 metric tons per year. By any means, these are significant numbers. This is a significant mine by world standards, anywhere in the world. So these efforts are achieving results, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, copper mines. Before I want to indicate that more than 100 were involved as contractors in the expansion program. All the electric cables were poured. Madam Speaker, the copper mine is a crucial economic. Its production had fallen undermined. Its production had fallen and the mine was on the verge of what we may call comatose closure in 2023. Our government took a decision to onboard a strategic equity partner who would provide, our view then, capital and supplemental expertise. International Resource Holdings, Madam Speaker, emerged as the best choice, and we, the country, through ZCCM-IH, entered into a joint venture, Madam Speaker, that unlocked $1.1 billion of capital into Mopani mine. This investment revamped mining operations at Mopani, and production has grown, Madam Speaker, by a whopping 40%. With a target of 230,000 metric tons of copper per annum at peak before further expansion is injected. More than 2,000, Madam Speaker, more than 2,000 Zambian jobs, mainly the youth, have been employed, and no one was declared redundant at the point of. So these are additional jobs, Madam Speaker. The jobs that were there, retained, additional jobs, 2,000. Speaker, local suppliers, not just jobs, local suppliers have been engaged and continue to benefit from the mine's growth. My only advice to our local suppliers, Madam Speaker, a number of them are not delivering in accordance to the quality required. It is a problem. Government may be able to our people get to squander the opportunity. Then they complain every day. Please, mine suppliers, live up to the expectations. You supply substandard stuff, you delay supplies, you increase downtime on the mine. We will not achieve our targets. Mr. Speaker, let us be a country of serious people and businesses. Government will work with you, but do your part. Madam Speaker, Konkola Copper Mines, KCM, was recklessly placed in liquidation, occasioning great liability to the Treasury. It was necessary to correct this expropriation from an investor who was, at the time, seen to have lost public trust. But there was a better way of handling this problem. What we did created a lot of damage to the mine, to the investment climate. No question about it. Our government took the decision, the right decision, to re-engage Vedanta to ensure that KCM returns to production. as this would not have been possible if we did not re-engage Vedanta to do a transaction with anybody else, because litigation would have continued even up to now. Again, we said we don't do business in court, so we came to the table and we have a resolution there. The matter now is about improvements, not about going downwards, but going upwards. We've always emphasized that, Madam Speaker, we should not rush to court when we have a challenge, even at a family level, business level, government level. Court is the last resort. When dialogue is challenged, court is the last resort. Madam Speaker, I have to emphasize that so we don't get mixed feelings in this House. KCM has paid off a large number of creditors through a scheme of arrangements and is steadily developing its production in addition to corporate social responsibility like any other business. And we encourage KCM to do more, to do better. And we are pushing, we need to push together. Copper Belt members of parliament, we need to work together. All of us as one unit. Doesn't matter whether you're on a different party ticket, Zambians elected you. We must work together. Simple, very simple, very simple. Madam Speaker, in October last year, we commissioned works on the $2 billion of Barrick Lumwana expansion dubbed as the Super Pit. The project is scheduled to be operational, Madam Speaker, in 2028. I mean into production. And will add 240,000 metric tons of copper per annum. You can add the numbers. You will see that we are moving toward 3 million tons. A figure that others thought we were dreaming when we put it on the table. There was no dream there. There was calculation there. Madam Speaker, our commitment to increasing copper production is further attested by our drive to revive some dormant mines. In November, Madam Speaker, last year, we commissioned the reopening of Kalengwa Mine in Mufumbwe, Northwestern Province. The mine had been closed for nearly 47 years. It will be producing its first metric tons shortly. This is not a joke. It's a very serious issue, Madam Speaker. The Luansha copper mines, 28 shafts. 28 shafts. 28 shafts had been dormant for nearly 24 years until 2024 under this government, when we commissioned the dewatering of this shaft. The process is expected to be concluded by the end of 2025. I'm talking of dewatering. Dewatering. Please don't misunderstand me. Dewatering. 2 months ahead of schedule, Madam Speaker. 2 months ahead of schedule. Very important. Different habits are developing in our economy, which are better habits. So once completed, this will enable Wansha Copper Mine to reach its production target of 100,000 metric tons, Madam Speaker. The revival of 28 shafts will also create an additional 3,000 jobs. Luansha was becoming a ghost town. Luansha is now vibrant. Left, right, front, back, something is going on in Luansha. Every day, yes, including roads. Including roads. Madam Speaker, let's soldier on. Non-ferrous China Africa NFCA mine is expected to expand with a US $500 million investment. Additionally, the entry of new investors, Madam Speaker, at Lubambe Copper Mine, one which was in comatose again, which was basically just hanging around. There is a development going on there, and I was there. That copper mine is adding to our production levels with an additional $240 million investment and saving 1,500 jobs which were to be declared in Zambia. Those jobs were on their way out, Madam Speaker, but now they are assured. And that would have been a serious problem in that part of our country if we lost those jobs. We should not allow jobs to be lost, Madam Speaker. We should collectively work together to do everything possible to protect the jobs we have as we create new jobs. Very important. Besides rejuvenating and expanding old mines, we have planted the seed for new mines. These include the highly anticipated Mingomba mine in Chililavombwe, in Chililavombwe, and the Kitumba mine in Mumbwa. Madam Speaker, I'm proud to say that your government is making Mumbwa not a derogatory town which used to be called Mumbwa Mumbwa. Mumbwa is receiving huge investments now. Huge investments now. Yes, we know. Mumbwa, the Kitumba mine is in Mumbwa, Madam Speaker, and I've been there. And these mines, Madam Speaker, are at a development stage. Mingomba and Mumbwa, but jobs have already been created. Works are already going on there. Suppliers are supplying to these mines. Training is going on. It's a fantastic story, Madam Speaker, to turn around a sector which was dying and within a short time delivering results, tangible results. It's not a joke. Very serious work going on there. I won't take too much time. There are many more projects that are going on, Madam Speaker. These are samples only. We are doing sampling here. Madam Speaker, the high-resolution aerial geophysical mapping or survey which is going on at the moment, which commenced in July last year, is on course. This is a very important development to this country, Madam Speaker. I know others are not paying attention. We've never fully explored our mineral potential in our country since independence. It's the first time we're doing it. First time. You can't exploit what you don't know. We have to know what we're sitting on. Madam Speaker, so far around 30% of the country has been surveyed. It's looking good, but we have to manage these resources properly. And I'll come to that. The survey is important in identifying what we're sitting on. Even under this building, there could be something lying. But how do we know? Unless we survey. So your country is investing money in this. And I think it's an investment which is well meant. What this survey is going to do, Madam Speaker, in addition to identifying resources, but the attendant improvements of attracting investments, with supporting exploration that may ensue as a result of this geophysical mapping, improving mineral resource management. We need to pay attention to this, improving the mineral resource management going forward. We want minerals to add value, not to create civil strife, not to create rivers of blood. It has happened in other countries. This government will not allow that. And we hope we have the support of everybody to make sure that we manage these resources properly. Madam Speaker, here we are. To curb illegal mining, our government is formalizing artisanal and small-scale mining. To this end, we issued over 1,400 artisanal and small-scale mining licenses to citizens of Zambia, because this sector is intended for citizens only. And we're cleaning it up, and non-citizens that have got the licenses will lose their licenses to citizens, only citizens of Zambia. The highest number of licenses issued, Madam Speaker, are in the gold mining sector, and accounting for 71% of all these 1,400 licenses. 71% are in the gold area. And that is why we need to pay attention to what is going on in Kikonge, in Mufumbwe, in Kasempa, in Shuangandu, in Mpika, in Lusangazi, in Chamuka here, in Rufunsa. Madam Speaker, we need to work together on this issue. All of us, in this house and outside this house, to keep our country secure. We need to work together. So, Madam Speaker, I want to indicate to you that these reforms are delivering value. We have laid a solid foundation for a more prosperous country in different sectors. So I want to emphasize 4 points, Madam Speaker, in the mining sector. Whether it's artisanal, small, medium, large, 4 themes will apply. Very important. Number 1, legal regulatory compliance. Number 1. Number 2, safe mining. We can't allow our children to go in those holes and die every day in the name of whatever you want to call it. No. No. Within safety, safe mining, no pollution. 3, formal trade. All the minerals must be traded formally and they should come into the economy, not outside. Number 4, security. Very simple. Legal regulatory, 1, 2, safe mining, 3, formal trade, 4, security. The security cluster, Madam Speaker, will tell you when they went to Kikonge, they found military guns there. What are those guns for? To kill somebody. Eastern DRC, Madam Speaker, started like this. 40 years down the road, 13-year-old boys have killed already. We don't want our country to be in this space. This is not a joke. This is not a joke. So we need to work together. This house must work together so we can moderate and exploit our resources properly. Madam Speaker, tourism. Over the past 4 years, we have made strategic investment in the tourism infrastructure, marketing, product diversification, policy reforms, and community engagement. We have laid a solid foundation, Madam Speaker, in this sector for resilience, diverse, and economically impactful activities in the sector. Our interventions, Madam Speaker, in tourism sector are yielding positive results. We have continued to record, Minister Skumba, an increase in international tourist arrivals and therefore revenues. Arrivals are connected to revenues. Tourist arrivals, Madam Speaker, numbers don't lie, increased from 554,000 in 2021 to a record 2.2 million in 2024, the largest in the country's history. This continued increase in international arrivals is largely, Madam Speaker, again, not by chance, not by lucky, attributed to a number of measures, including the visa waiver policy. The visa waiver policy to 167 countries, as well as intensified marketing and hosting of international meetings and conferences, which your cabinet made a deliberate decision on. The results are now showing, and the benefits are clear. More investment is required, and it's happening in hotels, lodges, and other hospitality infrastructure is in progress, Madam Speaker, in collaboration with the private sector. And we want to thank the private sector. Majority of the tourism infrastructure here is basically delivered by the private sector. So thank you to the tourism players, businesses in the sector. We thank you. We thank you. Let's continue working together. There are challenges we need to deal with, and we provided platforms to deal with those challenges, filter those challenges. Presidential Delivery Unit, Public-Private Dialogue Forum. Please, let's utilize these forums. I'm speaking to the nation now.